Hello, my name is Eduardo Silva, and thank you for watching this presentation project on organizational behavior. So imagine a president of a country that doesn't use any social media or email, a president that donates 90% of his salary to charity and still lives in his old house. Imagine a president that spends most of his time farming flowers and vegetables and that his total assets do not exceed $200,000. In fact, that president existed and he recently resigned from the Senate and announced his retirement from any political activity. So for this presentation, I have identified a political leader and former president of Uruguay, José Alberto Mujica, best well known as Pepe Mujica, and as an effective, exemplary leader. José Alberto Pepe Mujica, the poorest president of the world. So first, let's talk about his background. He was born on May 20, 1935 in Uruguay. His father was a small farmer who died when he was 5 years old, leaving his family in a difficult financial situation. As a young age, he was influenced by his mom's side uncle, who was an activist in the National Party with ideas to protect the working class and empower the labor unions. In 1958, as a member of the National Party, Mujica became Ministry of Labor, and in 1962 he left the National Party to establish the Socialist Popular Union political group. He spent from 1960 to 1970 as part of the Uruguayan guerrilla, and, and as a guerrilla member, Mujica was shot 6 times in different armed clashes and also arrested 4 times, of which 2 of them he escaped from the prison. He spent 15 years of his life in jail, being the last period from 1972 to 1985. After he was released from jail, Mujica continued his political life, and he created in 1989 the movement of popular participation. In 1994 he was elected deputy. In 2005 he was appointed Minister of Agriculture. He started to join people's approval, and in 2009, by a large population support, he was elected president of Uruguay as a reward of decades of fighting for his ideals. So let's talk about achievements. Mujica was able to mobilize people towards a vision, and during his mandate, poverty levels decreased from 40% to 12%, and the new laws implemented by his government to legalize abortion, same-sex marriage, and marijuana consumption were the three main examples of his affiliative and visionary styles of leadership. So the big question is how a former guerrilla man who promoted fear among the population could be elected democratically president of Uruguay. As well as the country did, Jose Mujica passed through a difficult transformation process which allowed him to become an important leader not only in Uruguay but also in Latin America. Mujica fought for people's better life conditions since a young age, and even though he was declined to use the power of firearms, he had continued his fight in a democratic way to achieve the ideal that has always motivated him, which is the right of equality. So, in fact, I can highlight 4 characteristics that define Pepe Mujica as a leader. The first one is the vision, his vision. He is the best example of a combination of affiliative and visionary leadership. Because his socialist background and under the umbrella of the democratic government, Pepe was looking to improve the distribution of wealth among the population. His vision in particular challenged a process, shaped a new culture, and developed a transformational style. So this is an example of transformational leadership, which according to John and Sachs is a leadership in which a leader have a more profound effect on followers by giving them a new vision that instills true commitment to a project, a department of or an organization where the leader changes the beliefs and attitudes of followers to correspond to this new vision and motivates them to achieve performance beyond expectations. The second one is unification. Through the Uruguayan's history, there has been always a conflict between the liberal and conservative political parties, and Pepe's economic policies have been respectful of the economic strategy implemented by the former governments, like the liberal parties, for example. But he has included the social code that a large part of the population has been demanding for decades. This unification created empowerment. So Mujica showed the world that it's possible to grow with social responsibility by empowering large corporations, countries, or international agencies. For that reason, he was a clear example of empowering leadership, which, according to John and Sachs, involves implementing conditions that enable power to be shared with employees. So the third characteristic is apparent sincerity. In 2002, the daily newspaper El Mundo, as I mentioned before, named Jose Mujica as the poorest president in the world due to his austere lifestyle and his donation of around 90% of his salary to charities and benefits. Mujica has shown to his followers that his preaches about the joy of living simplicity are not only words but also it is true. So apparent sincerity is a political skill, and John and Sachs defines political skill as the ability to understand others at work and to use that knowledge to influence others. So influence attempts will be seen as manipulative unless they are together with sincerity. A good politician comes across as a genuine and exhibits high integrity. So the fourth and last characteristic is ethical leadership. Mujica adopted an integrative leadership oriented to a common good through modeling authenticity, transparency, humility, and integrity. For instance, Jackson and Perry, 2011, noted that a combination of humility and fierce resolve enhanced leader credibility. John and Sachs also illustrated ethical leadership as the demonstration of appropriate conduct through personal actions and interpersonal relationships and the promotion of such conduct to followers through two-way communication, reinforcement, and decision making. In conclusion, Uruguay is nowadays the country with less inequality in Latin America as a result of Mujica's leadership and government. Mujica's speech of anarchical freedom overpasses traditional political speech, where he constantly highlighted the quality of life and the importance of time for human relationships, love, friendship, adventure, solidarity, and family. Nonetheless, he points out the importance of human responsibility and limits. This is how Mujica's influence, know-how, and leadership capabilities provided him with a set of skills to proven in a head position in to view the job of leadership as a responsibility and not as a platform for adulation or an unbound privilege. In particular, his envision of a future is linked with the statement illustrated by Coates and Posner in 2017, where you are more likely to take the first step forward when envisioning the future you want for you and others, and when you feel passionate about the legacy you want to leave. For these reasons, you would think that legacy and admiration are the drivers and the result of exemplary leadership. Jose Mujica achieved what he always wanted, and this was to make a difference and leave the legacy and a perpetual example of a good leader. In fact, this is something we all need to vision in life, to be remembered as a visionary, exemplary leaders driven by the pillar values of empathy, humility, and service. Thank you for watching this presentation, and I will leave you with this quote of Pepe Mujica. I live with little, just what's necessary. I'm not tied down to material things. Why? So I can have more free time. To do what? what I love. Thank you.